Welcome to a very, very, very special episode, a very packed episode of Two Beers and a Mic. Welcome to the new studio. We talk about that. We talk about March Madness. We talk about the recent UFC fight that happened on Friday night, Saturday night. Yeah, big episode in store. So welcome to Two Beers and a Mic. Here we go.
Hey guys.
Welcome to Two Beers and a Mic, brought to you by Business Solutions Technology, where you need your paper, your toner, your printers, all your printer and toner needs. Visit businesssolutionstechnology.net for any of your printer and toner needs. What's going on, Stone?
Oh, not much. Just making it, man. How are you?
Here we go, man. I'm great because this is our first episode. We've recorded some test episodes. We have not liked the audio. We've got some upgrades. We are now rocking some Shure MV7s.
We are official.
Some Shure MV7s. Sure, if you would like to send us some SM7Bs, the real podcast mics. These are really good.
They are.
But we would love some
There's
SM7Bs.
just one level above.
We could use an SM7B for both of us. I mean, if we want to sound the clearest.
We will definitely promote them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're promoting you right now, so you might as well give us a top product, you know.
It's on the table.
Yeah, so a lot to talk about. We're going to do a beer review for a company that we've been in talks with potentially becoming a sponsor. We are in talks with Deep Ellum Brewing Company. So we have a great beer that we are going to test, and they have some great restaurants as well. What is your favorite Deep Ellum Brewing Company beer? Do you have one that you know of?
Man, probably. There's one that we had tried not long ago.
So I think we bought this 4 mix pack. They have a 4 mix pack in the Dallas area where you can get just a few, kind of like a, I don't know, like, you know, when you buy like a can of like True,
like a variety pack.
Yeah, it's a variety pack.
Yeah.
They have 4 different kinds. They have the Confidence, I think is what it's called. The Nito Bandito.
That's what it was.
The Dallas Blonde and the Deep Ellum IPA.
The Nito Bandito is the one that it was. And that was and that was actually a rather good or a rather tasteful beer for sure. Especially because I'm not a big IPA fan. Yeah. And so sometimes they can just be a little rich for me, a little much. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed the Nito Bandito.
I personally am a big fan of the Deep Ellum IPA. I had a buddy who always had it stocked in his fridge. And so that's kind of been my go-to from Deep Ellum Brewing Company. But I'm definitely excited to try some of the other ones. Yeah. And I'm definitely excited, just in case you're wondering, Deep Ellum Brewing Company is located here in Dallas, Texas. They are a locally sourced beer brewing company. They do all their stuff here in Dallas. They sell their beers, like their canned beers, in those 4 specific flavors, and maybe even their seltzers, in a lot of local restaurants around Dallas and a lot of liquor stores kind of in the Dallas area, and even in Texas. But what you can't find is they actually have a large tap room with a lot more beers. So if you want to try out some more, and you know, maybe what you've tried from the liquor stores isn't your taste, head on over to Deep Ellum Brewing Company and go get you some food, go get you some on tap beers, because they have a lot of different selections over there.
Yeah.
So we have in the variety pack, we have the Nito Bandito, which we've already taste tested. Yeah. So we'll throw that one out. Let's say we have the Deep Ellum IPA, the Dallas Blonde, and the Confidence. Which one are you thinking today?
I'm feeling confident today. Let's go with confidence.
Let's go with confidence. So we have our mini fridge over here, donated and sponsored by SOK Lone Star.
Training and breeding the best gun dogs for the modern day sportsman. And also my sticker collection.
You heard it here first, folks. Just, you know, Best dog training in Texas. Best dog training in the nation. How many branches of SOK? You're SOK Lone Star. How many branches of SOK are
we
there
have
nationwide?
7 total. So we have one, or obviously me in Texas. We have 2 in Mississippi. We have 1 in North Carolina. We have 1 in South Carolina. We have 1 in Kansas, Michigan, and then Wisconsin.
Dang.
So 7 campuses total.
A lot of locations.
Yeah, probably between everybody about, I want to say we've got about 100, maybe a little under 100 breeding females right now.
Wow.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And I've had from personal experience. My dog is not an English lab, but he was trained by you, and night and day difference.
We tried
from getting him back. He's also a lost cause.
We tried our best.
He was 1 year old when we gave him to you, which obviously is very, very old to start the training process, especially trying to get them susceptible to all to listening and all that type of stuff. But he was a shelter dog.
Toaster strudel.
Old toast. But he was a night and day difference. He went to you for 6 weeks. And how long is a typical training for you?
Man, if we're doing like gun dog training, we're doing about right at 5 months is our minimum. So, but a lot of owners will leave them for 10 to 12, just depending on how far along they want them.
Yeah. Well, if you need any kind of training done of your English slabs, visit SOK and SOK Lone Star for sure, because I can speak personally. Stone, you do a great job training the dogs. Your dogs look great, award winning. You take them all the way, and you get them awarded.
Very kind. I do. We do hunt tests and things like that, so it's fun. It's just kind of like an accolade that you can kind of show off to your peers and whatnot, and just show off on your dog. So it's a fun little business, man. But very kind of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into these confidence. So let's see here what we got. It's a hazy
that builds
enough.
My confidence.
There we go. It's a hazy enough India Pale Ale, so an IPA. So it might not be your cup of tea, but we'll see how it is.
Again, I do love the branding of it though, and how they market their cans.
Absolutely.
I mean, again, this is a sick can.
I mean, what are we rocking here? Let's see if you can even, we might zoom in on this if we can.
It looks like something you would see off of Rick and Morty.
It looks like a mad scientist who is mixing God knows what into this pot, and I'm guessing that's how they made this. 6.5% alcohol by volume. Drink responsibly.
Never.
2 beers and a mic is not responsible for any drinking and driving or
any occurrences that may occur while drinking.
Absolutely. We're not responsible for any of the damages. So
we do not.
Don't come at us. We just want to show you good beers. That's all.
Right.
So here we go. For those ASMRs
and
out
those
there,
above legal age.
Absolutely. 21 and up. Drink responsibly.
Please. Oh, dang.
Might have got my foam screen a little beery. Ooh, I can already tell I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
I just took one small sip of like the piece that was on my hand.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. Are you ready?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's give it a good taste. Okay. Now, what we're going to start today, and we're going to take some of the beers that we've kind of already tried and recorded on, but I would say we have done on camera. We have tasted and rated three separate beers: pickle beer, Stella Artois, and what was the other one? No,
it was the Nito Bandito.
No, not ones that we posted.
Oh.
What was the other one? We did the pickle, and then we washed it down with Champagne of beers, Miller High Life.
That's right.
So as of right now, what is that ranking looking like for you? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna start keeping track of what our rankings are.
Oh, for sure.
and seeing which ones, you know, we like at the top, which ones we despise at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm with it. With
you know, excluding this one, Stella Artois,
bottom,
pickle beer, second, and Miller High Life's number 1. So, I'll have to go back and look at those ratings so that we can write those down. But we do have a giant whiteboard over here that we'll be making use of, and writing those down and posting those.
Works perfect.
And so where would you put this on your list of those 3 that we've already recorded and rated?
Right. I will say I don't like it as much as I like the Nito Bandito. Whenever we had tried that, I think it's just, again, IPAs, you know, have their taste to them, and so, man, I'm gonna rate it definitely better than the Stella Artois. But I was a fan of the pickle beer.
Okay. Hey, listen, it's a weird conglomerate.
Exactly.
But I'm a fan of a good deal. You know, I love a good Vlasic crunchy pickle.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know,
pickles.
No sus. No sus.
We're all sus.
Or one or the other. You be the judge of that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. And it was blue raspberry pickled. I think if it was basic pickle,
the regular pickle, I've had the regular pickle one, and it's a lot better than the blue raspberry. It tasted like a Kool-Aid pickle, but not enough sugar, if you know what I'm saying.
I feel you. Yeah. Tate got at a fair once, or we went to the state fair. She got a chamoy pickle. So this was a pickle soaked in chamoy. Right, you know chamoy, that Hispanic Mexican candy liquid /
it's like a spicy, sweet and spicy like drizzle that you can put
gelatin
on anything.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of Lucas. Have you ever had Lucas, like that comes out of the little toppers that you can squeeze out? No, dude, I used to have that mess all the time in elementary school. It was so good.
It's kind of like okay, so like if you were to pour icing that you've heated up onto like a cinnamon roll, right? It's kind of like that consistency, maybe.
Yeah. But I mean, they serve it a lot of different ways. They've served it like, man, you could serve it, I think, frozen, or like where it's more of like a fruit roll up type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's what they did. I think they actually hardened some of it, and they wrapped, or no, actually what they used was a fruit roll up. So they wrapped the pickle in fruit roll up, and then loaded it with chamoy. And she was like all in. She was like, I want this chamoy pickle. Like, this is the most thing I'm excited for. Ate it, severely disappointed. I tried it. It was so sour. But then like the sweet was good, but then like the sourness just threw it way off. It was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also very picky when it comes to pickles.
You're a picky pickle.
I'm a picky pickle eater. But yeah, I just wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been one to just like eat a whole pickle.
Yeah. Like a thick.
I would drink I would drink pickle juice, but I would never eat a full pickle.
I feel you.
Okay, but no, it definitely would, you know, because it can, you know, it can be a acquired taste. The pickle can be an acquired taste. I would definitely, you know, I'd still rank it as my number 1 probably.
Okay,
I'd probably go that. Then I would go with our Confidence over here.
Over the Miller High Life.
Over the Miller High Life.
Okay.
And then the Miller High Life and Stella Artois.
Okay. I will.
Miller High Life tasted a lot different to me than the like Miller Lite. I'm a big fan of Miller Lite, but it just, I don't know.
See, Miller Lite to me is very, very foamy. And so
makes you bloated.
I'm not like, and I am not like the biggest like beer drink. Like I know some people will like head home from work, crack open 3 or 4, like nothing against them. That's just not really me. I don't really sit at home and be like, you know, I want a beer. Like, I just don't do that. But at the same time, like the most of the times I probably drink beer, so my opinion's probably a little flawed, is like golfing and stuff.
Yeah.
But Miller to me is just so thick. It's just not a great golf beer.
Definitely not. Michelob Ultra is the best golf beer.
Yeah, it's like water.
Exactly.
So it's like you're hydrating yourself throughout the day.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree. I wouldn't put, since it was blue raz, it kind of threw me off.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna say this is number 1 for me.
This one?
But we have to come up with a combined rating.
That's fair.
So on this episode is where we will make sure that it's all documented. So 1 through 5 to make it easier on us. 2.5 being completely average. Where would you rate the very first beer we tried, Stella Artois? 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Yes, 5 being great beer.
It has to
shit.
Score a 1.
Okay, I agree.
It has to score 1.
No, yeah, like okay, 0 through 5. What would you give it? Like 0.1? A 0.1?
Yeah, 0.1.
Okay.
No, in all honesty, probably if it were 1.5, I'd give it a 1.5. It just, man, I could not get over it.
Well, I'm thinking like 1, I can swallow it, but like I'm like I'm about to hurl.
Yeah. Okay, a 2.
So you give it a 2.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2. Official score of a 2.
All right, Stella, you deserve a 2. Pickle beer.
7.5.
No, 1 to 5.
Oh, true. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Probably 3.9.
Okay, not quite a 4.
Quite a 4.
But close.
Yeah, 3.9.
Okay. I'd agree with that. Okay. Okay, so we have a 1.5. We have a 3.9. No, we have a 2. Did we give it a 2? Okay, so we have a 2. We have a 3.5. Now, let's go Miller High Life. What are you rating that?
Miller High Life?
3.9, 3.5.
2.5.
2.5 on the Miller High Life?
2.5.
Just average?
Yeah, just average.
Okay. What would you give the confidence?
Probably a 3.
A 3.
3 point. No. Yeah, 3. 3. Solid 3.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3.5, so we'll average that out as a 3.25 or 3 point. We'll just say 3.2.
3.2.
Okay. So that's our rankings on those. I would agree on the you gave pickle beer 3.9. I'd give pickle beer like 3.5, but like we'll just keep it at 3.9. So pickle beer is number 1.
Dope.
As of right now.
Nice.
We're rocking confidence right now at number 2.
Yep. Miller High Life at number
3.
And Stella Artois last.
Yep.
Always.
Sad. All right. Well, that was our beer review.
Yeah.
Let's get into UFC.
Dude.
So tell me about it.
I was trying to until I was out in my yard yesterday, and I guess the fight just came to me as I was putting posts into the ground for my fence. That thing just stuck and schwacked me upside the head. I was about knocked me out. Felt like I got punched by a UFC fighter.
Good grief.
Tell you what. But no, man, we got to watch it yesterday we got to watch it, and it was a good fight, man. There were two cards that I was really interested in. The first one was the Justin Gaethje and God, what's his Rafael starts with an F. Rafael.
Fifez?
Rafael Fifez.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. And Justin Gaethje. But man, it was the reason I wanted to watch the fight was because I was a big fan of Justin. He's a solid competitor. Always has been for the most part. But man, the fight was solid. Gaethje started strong. He pretty much controlled the fight, I feel, the whole time. There wasn't ever really a moment where I felt that he was out of control. Now, I will say Rafael was definitely landing some heavy punches, and he really started out strong each round. So there was never a round where he came out and he was like kind of lackadaisical or anything like that. He always started strong. He was moving. He had good head movement. He was attacking. So he stayed on Justin Gaethje pretty hard. Unfortunately, man, it just I don't know. Towards the end of the first round, I think Gaethje was just destroying his legs.
Really?
Yeah. He was really attacking Rafael's lower body heavy. And so I think that really kind of fatigued him out a little bit towards the end there. But in the second man, again, like I said, they came out strong. Big leg kicks all throughout. I think Rafael kind of was getting a little pissed off at how many leg kicks were landing, and so he decided, he's like, oh, I'm about to throw some of these on my own. But it was a fun fight to watch, man. In the third round, Gaethje, I feel, came out sort of slow. And really in all the rounds, he just like, it's not that he wasn't attacking. He just I think he was just kind of being patient, kind of waiting. But there wasn't a single takedown until the third round. It was crazy. Like,
really?
Yeah, single takedown at all. And so up until like the last 10 seconds, Gaethje got a takedown, the last 5 or 6 seconds or something like that. And so, they ended up putting on a nice show, but Gaethje had him every single round. So it wasn't really much of a fight. It was a great fight between the two of them, but Gaethje really put it on him. So you could tell after the fight, especially, he was pretty banged up. But everybody kind of was on the Gaethje train for sure, I feel.
Well, just from like name recognition, I mean, I don't really follow a whole lot of UFC, but I've seen him fight and I know that name, and just like I'd like to definitely get into the just learning more about it and becoming more aware, and it's definitely something that I've wanted to get into, especially as it's gotten so big recently. I'm a big Dana White guy.
Right. Oh yeah.
Greatest commissioner in sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like UFC. I like watching it, and I know you've developed more of a passion for it because I mean, you're getting into some jiu-jitsu and starting to do stuff like that. And
got my first stripe. I'm basically a black belt now.
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, thanks.
I guess we'll start the. I'll call Dana up, and he'll get a match going between you and Gaethje.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude. See, I don't want to. What if this blows up and I say I wreck him? It's gonna have to happen. But if not, it probably won't ever make it to him. But that's okay.
That's okay.
So, I'll take the opportunity.
Any day. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
a little bit bigger than him. Maybe it'll help.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. What weight class is he in?
Oh, I think he was light heavyweight or
heavyweight
or middleweight. Oh God, I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
Well, if I even attempted it, I'd be going up against people like Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, dude, you'd be screwed.
I'm 200. I'm rocking 280 right now, so I don't think.
That's why I stay under that 200 mark, man. So
I don't really want to mess with people like that, man. Got punches that'll like they could punch.
You'll die.
A 2x4 in half. You can punch a 2x6 or whatever.
I don't know anything, any and everything. Piece of OSB
block.
decking.
Just right there.
That'd be sick. But they talk about the amount of power and everything that Usman has as well, and just the power that he has in his takedown defense, and that was the fight that everybody was really talking about.
Really?
Yeah, because Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, man, they fought twice already. They were both 1-1. The last fight that they fought in was very what's the word I'm looking for? They couldn't agree, and or not that they couldn't agree. Usman just kept on stating the fact that there was only one particular instance where he really beat him, because the last fight Leon Edwards knocked him out, but it was because Usman had dropped his hand. So he was in a stance. He dropped his left hand, and he hit him with a head kick, right, and just dropped him right there. And so Usman's take on it was, it was my one mistake. Other than that, I was winning the whole fight. We need to do this again, this and that and another. And sure enough, they did. And man, it was a good fight. I don't know how big of a fan of Leon Edwards I am. I've followed Kamaru Usman a lot longer than I have Leon Edwards. But I will say that his precision in striking is phenomenal. He had over 70% of striking, or his 70% of his strikes landed in the match against Usman. And so that's insane. I mean, most people you're looking at 49 to 55, 60%, right?
You
but
said
70% of his shots landed.
Wow.
And he defended 70% of Usman's takedowns, which is like really where his game is at. You know, Usman will take people down and he'll ground and pound them.
Yeah.
And so he did a really good job at defending that. There were a couple cheap shots in there and a couple times where Leon Edwards really just kind of blatantly, I don't want to say cheated, but didn't follow the rules entirely. So at one point, I think it was in the third round, Usman was going for a takedown, and Rose only gotten like 4 out of 10 takedown, or 4 out of 9 takedowns at this point.
Yeah.
Or 3 out of 9, one of the two. And Usman's getting ready to take down Leon Edwards, and he grabs the fence. Like, you can't do that at all. He just grabs the fence to keep him from falling over. And so, sure enough, like, I mean, they got a point deducted, but I mean, that's not to say that would have turned the fight, but that's a big turn of events, you know, if he gets that takedown.
Absolutely.
But I mean, heck, he got up from it every time. So, or Leon Edwards got up from Usman's takedown every time. So it's not like, you know, they can really say that or anything like that. But man, Usman was pressuring the mess out of him the whole time. Very much a pressure fighter, and Leon Edwards was just kind of standing back, waiting for his opportunity. And you could tell, I mean, 70% really kind of speaks for itself whenever you're looking at statistics that way. But man, it was a solid fight overall. I think Leon took the first round is what it was. Leon took the first. I think it was tied the second. What was it? Tied the second. Leon in the third. Usman in the fourth, and Leon in the fifth is what I had. But man, it just throughout, I would say it didn't get crazy exciting until maybe that fourth and fifth round that they were going against each other. Again, it was just a lot. Usman did a great job pressuring, but just there didn't land the type of shots that he needed to land. Leon was definitely attacking his lower body and his legs a lot more, and so that kind of, I think, fatigued Usman out to where, you know, he just couldn't land those takedowns. So it's, man, when your legs are giving out on you, there's not much you can do. That's for sure.
Are they completely different type of style fighters? Like, I know, like McGregor, right? If I'm right when I'm saying this, he's more of a striker. He's more of a, you know, he takes a lot of pride in landing those big blows. Then you have people like Khabib, who, you know, they're a wrestler. You know, they get you on the ground, they wear you out. You know, you put them in the holds, you make them tap out.
Right.
You know, as opposed to just knocking them unconscious.
Right.
So were Usman and Edwards, were they completely different types of style fighters, or same type, or
similar striking styles? But Edwards doesn't really seem to have a ground game. From watching him, it seems that he's got good takedown defense, but doesn't have a good ground game.
Okay.
Or maybe a good ground game, but not shown.
Like, not known for
not known for his ground game, for sure.
Yeah.
Usman is very much known for wrestling and takedowns and fighting on the ground and taking the fight to the ground. And so that everybody kind of felt that he had the upper hand, but man, the entire crowd, you could hear him through the TV. They're just, anytime he goes for a takedown, they're just booing the mess out of him.
Really?
Yeah. Like, just, you hear the whole crowd just boo, boo. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, can you imagine like trying to fight some other dude and like you do something that you think is just great and everybody's like boo? It's like, oh, hey, fuck y'all, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wanna.
So Edwards was definitely like a fan favorite.
Yeah, Edwards was definitely the fan favorite. He was the champion going into it because of his last fight against Usman, knocking him out. But man, I'm still very much an Usman fan. Leon Edwards hit Usman with a few cheap shots. One seemed rather intentional to the groin, but man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, solid fights by the both of them overall. You know, it was a close fight, that's for sure. So kudos to the judges. I could never try and score something like that.
Is there anything up on the cards coming up next? Any type of big type fights that you know are coming up next? UFC, because I was what 286, 286 or 7?
Yeah, 286 or 287, one of the two.
Okay.
I know that, or there's rumor that old McGregor's getting
he's
back
trying
into
to come
the
back,
ring.
right?
Yeah.
Which I mean, I love the dude, and I remember this was years ago, him taking on Cowboy Cerrone, knocking him out. I mean, literally with straight shoulder punches, knocking him out within like 40 seconds. And that was his first fight back from fighting Floyd in boxing. And then just after all that, I mean, has McGregor won even since he won against Cerrone? And then but Cerrone was like known at that point in time to be pretty old. So, you know, maybe McGregor hasn't fought anyone truly worthy in the last couple, you know, fights that he's had, but hasn't he lost like the last 3 or 4?
Well, his last fight against Poirier, he broke his ankle or his foot or something like that, and so that was I think that was a big part of it, you know. And
was
I'm going to
get
a lot of
hate. Or was it Diaz? No,
it was Poirier.
It was Poirier.
Yeah, it was Poirier.
Where he just stepped back and it just snapped.
Yeah.
Well, I think Poirier.
Yeah. Oh no, he definitely
rocked it.
Yeah, Poirier definitely snapped his leg. But I mean, even still, man, like you can't. God, that's a tough loss right there because you can't really do anything about that.
No.
You know, but he does fight the second half of 2023. So
really?
UFC confirmed it in February.
Oh man.
That's great, dude. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, you'll hear it here. You'll hear it here.
Yeah,
all the highlights.
We could do a live view of it. We could order it on pay-per-view and put it up and just kind of dissect the fight as we're going through it. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be nice to learn from you, kind of like what terminology and what like things to look for. Because as I'm watching, I mean, I'm literally watching striking, and when they go to the ground and they start, you know, that's when, you know, that jujitsu and that like that special type of wrestling like really comes into play.
We'll start taking you to jujitsu classes with me.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I've seen some of the dudes that you fought at tournaments, and I've seen some of the dudes that are in my weight class at your tournaments, and they are just like, they may not be. I mean, I'm 6'6", 280 pounds, but these guys are like 6 foot even, or like 6'2", but 280 pounds. I mean, they're just blocks. They're like a freaking. I mean, they're literally just like blocks of like, it's like an oak tree just in there, and they're just massive. And I don't.
That's fair.
I don't know if length will help on striking, but jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of lose with you being 6'4",
those
6'5".
little guys,
I mean,
they get in between any crack and cranny that you got. I'll tell you what.
And they can escape easier. Yeah. They use your length as leverage.
Their chokes are what are just insanely tight, man. I mean, because if you think about it, my arm is about 3 foot long, right? And so if I'm putting that around somebody's neck, like the surface area that I have to cover in order for it to actually like get tension on the neck is a lot greater than if a short person is doing it, because they, you know, their arm might be 6 inches shorter, and so the minute they bend their arm, it's like cutting the blood to my head.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it would be fun. It would be fun. We could video that Jake's first jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Definitely something that we need to do as far as the live stream. I don't know about the jiu-jitsu class, but
we'll
the live stream, I think that'd be super fun.
For sure. But tell me about the what's called March Madness. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, this is something we obviously wanted to dive into. I know that you've been following it as well.
Yeah.
Who do you have in your final four? Or let's just say, who do you have matching up in the
Final Four.
Do you have it?
Yeah, we could do Final Four. Although after, oh yeah, they did just win. They pulled it off, didn't they? K-State just pulled it off the win.
Yes, they just beat Kentucky. Which Kentucky was very much ahead in the first half. Had a very, very strong start. K-State couldn't knock down anything. And then I turned it back on, and all of a sudden, K-State's up 4, and with 4 minutes left, and I'm like, whoa. But good for them. Number 3 taking on a number 6, knocking them out. So
not bad.
Kentucky out early yet again. Kentucky and Duke. Something we'll tag on later.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But yeah, who do you have in your Final Four? So when you filled out your bracket, now my Final Four is obviously changed now.
Yeah.
Who do you have in your bracket? Which I'll pull up the bracket here so that we can kind of, you know, make a good, I guess, you know, note on exactly what's going on. Let me see here.
Right.
Little sucker right here, NCAA.
Well, I know that I'm going to put Alabama for 1. and then probably K-State for 2.
Well, let's even see if they can match up. Okay, Alabama just won. Alabama will play San Diego State in the Sweet 16. I don't really need to see that right now. Where is K-State? K-State just won, so they're popping probably down here. Okay. Yeah. So they will play.
They'll play the winner of the Michigan State and Marquette game.
Yes, which is live right now. Marquette.
And I'm going to say, oh, man. I'm not going to, knock my team out, but Marquette does have a good chance of winning if they pull off this win.
Absolutely.
Against Michigan State.
So all right, so Final Four.
Final Four.
As of right now. So not before, but who do you have right now?
Right now, K-State, Alabama. I'm going to go Tennessee, and then I'm going to say Michigan State wins today. So we got what?
Well, K-State wound up playing Tennessee in the Elite Eight if they win. So you got Bama. So you have Bama.
Right.
You can choose between Texas, Xavier, Houston, and then the winner between Miami and Indiana.
Oh, man.
So who are you grabbing from those?
Houston is number 1.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before in my life.
Their men's basketball team has been severely getting better and better and better, and they played a really, really good season this year. Granted, their conference isn't as strong, as an SEC, as a Big 12, as a ACC, even though the ACC stunk this year.
Right. But you have schools like Xavier, and I mean, Indiana's always been a solid basketball school.
Yeah.
So Duke.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Tennessee and Alabama, and then we'll go TCU and is that Kansas right there?
Kansas lost to Arkansas. So you have pretty much Arkansas, UCLA.
Gonzaga.
Oh, wait, I chose
TCU.
You can have Arkansas or St. Mary's, UConn.
All right, I'll go with some of my Arkansas friends because I know that they're going to be going for them Razorbacks. Oh, woo pig sueys. Good Lord. We'll go Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, and TCU.
Okay.
That's going to be my Final Four.
All right. I have in my bracket, I have Alabama beating Texas in the national championship. So I have Alabama matching up with Texas there. I think Alabama is going to – I think Tennessee has put together a really, really solid – even though they struggled really heavily against Louisiana, they showed it against Duke. And now Duke is kind of like a tournament fraud. They have the players. They have the coaching. They just – They can never really develop a team because they're always one-and-doners.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, man, if FDU can pull off, number 16, if they can pull off a win against FAU today,
that'd be cool.
I would love to root for them against Tennessee. Do I see it happening? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Kansas State played a hell of a game today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put them in it. I'm going to put Kansas State in the final. So we have Bama matching up against K-State and beating them. And then I have Texas matching up against, I gotta say, I think TCU is gonna make it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna root for the Texas teams.
Nice.
Even though Arkansas showed really tough, but I just don't think they have the size.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say TCU and Texas face off, and Texas wins that one. But yeah, let me dive into some of these games here. Round 1 started. Marquette currently they're losing, I think, by about 3 right now to Michigan State. They played Vermont first round. They showed a lot of promise. So that team, Marquette's a very fast-paced team. Vermont, they just want to shoot threes. They want to take up the whole shot clock. Right. So completely different styles of play there. Vermont, they want to pass the ball around. They want to get a wide open 3. Marquette, they're looking to push the pace. They're looking to get it going.
Right.
So Marquette really needed to limit opportunities for 3. Vermont was splashing them early, but they did have a very slow start. Their Marquette star player, Kolick, he kind of injured his thumb in the first half. But they had a guy, Cam Jones. Cam Jones took over and scored 18 straight in the second half for Kolick, who I think he ended up getting in foul trouble also. So they had to take him out. I think around 18 minutes left in the second half. Cam Jones came in. I mean, it was just I was on a plane watching it, and it was just one after another, after another, after another. Dude was balling out. So they ended up pulling away from Vermont. Vermont played a very good game, but Marquette they showed a lot of like they looked great.
Yeah.
Now they looked a little small. So against teams like Texas who have a lot of big men.
Yeah.
Against teams like
Alabama.
like Alabama who just have some crazy athletes against team. I mean they will have their match even against Michigan State.
Yeah.
They have their match made up for them. They play Michigan State right now. They're playing them right now. I think it'll be a very close game. I know Michigan State had they were
the favorite, weren't they?
Yeah. Actually, no. Marquette was the favorite.
Was the favorite going into it.
Yeah. Because they won the Big East title. They were number 2 seed. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
I think. I just don't know if they have the size.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to struggle is the size.
That's fair.
If they pull it a win against Michigan State, that's awesome. I can't see them really going any further than that. Even though I think they showed a lot of promise. If they play like they did against Vermont,
yeah,
they have a very high chance of getting in the Final Four. But they have to continue that style of play. Kolek kind of has to get back into his groove. They can't rely on Cam Jones to carry the torch the whole way. I mean, you need your players playing good. So that was their one game where you had one guy, your star player. I mean, he was the Big East player of the year.
Especially with like a smaller team like that, you really have to get everybody kind of doing their part. Otherwise, you're going to be shut down pretty quick.
Well, and even him hurting his thumb like that, I mean, you come back into a game, you got the adrenaline going, it doesn't really impact you. It will a little bit, but I mean, give it a couple days, that thumb starts swelling up, and it's your shooting hand. Like, that's a problem.
Then it's going to be a problem for sure.
So, I just with him being kind of injured, Cam Jones, he can't carry the load for him. And you need that guy. But I mean, he's their sharpshooter. Kolek's their sharpshooter. So him having that injured hand might affect him. I think he's struggling a lot right now versus Michigan State. But then last night, I was watching Texas and Penn State. Texas was favored to win by 5.5. I think they ended up winning by like, man, what'd they win by? They won by, I don't even remember. I think it was close to that. So Penn State was 4-0 against the spread, and Texas was 6-0 against the spread.
Okay.
In their last 6 and 4 games.
Dang.
Penn State dominated Texas A&M versus the first round, which I love to see because
Really?
I have a lot of friends that went to Texas A&M. I still think it's cultish.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, my gosh. But yeah, I kind of enjoy seeing them get beat because it kind of deflates them, and they're just like, because they're so
Deflates their ego.
They're so into it so much, and I'm just like, fuck it, you lost. Like,
right.
Kind of like when A&M football team lost to Appalachian State.
Oh, dude, that was
like
so
third
great.
game of the year, and I was like, they were ranked like 6, and I was like, really?
I was like, get out of here.
Yeah. Dylan Dessou, man, was averaging 8.5 points. He's a 6'9" forward from Pflugerville, Texas, so that's kind of like
Nice.
Good hometown boy. Man, he shot 60% in the first half, had 12 of their 31 points, and you were like, man, is this going to be like this man's game? I mean, you got Serge Jabari Rice. You got other role players and other big time players, but Dessou, he's just kind of like their forward. He's a big guy. They look to use him and utilize him in playmaking situations, but he's not their star player. But that man just took over. Even though the Longhorns shot 0 for 8 in the 3-point line in the first half, they still ended up pulling out a first half lead up 8, and then their first 3-pointer actually came with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So I think the whole game they shot like 1 for, I want to say like 16 or something like that. But
Sounds
still,
like my shooting.
still pulled out a dub. Penn State surged back. Miles Dredd, who man had his dad in the stands rooting him on. It was a good little story there, but that man just started catching fire. I think he ended up putting up like 9 straight for him, and everyone was freaking out. And Penn State, I think, went up 1 at that point. And then, Dessou, they just kept handing it to Dessou. He averaged 8.5 points, 4.3 rebounds during the regular season. And in the first 2 games of the tournament, he's averaging 22.5 points and 10 rebounds a game. So he's averaging a double-double while putting in the work in the, in the shooting and scoring range. So
no joke.
Man's balling out. I think if you can I think they took advantage, the Longhorns did, of their height factor. They were a lot taller than Penn State. Penn State's like mostly guards. They have some big men like Dredd, but Texas is just huge. I mean, I think their power forward, Dylan Dessou, he's 6'9", and so that having your power forward be 6'9", I mean,
yeah,
you just have a lot of height. You got a lot of speed. You got a lot of height
for sure.
I think they took advantage of that height factor, and they have a lot of versatility and athleticism in those big men on the Longhorns. So it allowed them to make their way to Sweet 16. Dylan Dessou, keep balling out. You keep balling out that way, you're gonna take over. I think he has a capability of having more takeover power than the Marquette kid, Cam Jones. Even though he balled out, it just looked like Dessou looked easy out there for him. And I think once he starts gaining that confidence, you got him and his other two guys, his two guards, that Texas is very guard heavy in their points and stuff like that.
Right.
And if they can start hitting stuff from three,
they're lethal.
They're deadly.
Yeah.
A deadly number 2 seed. I think they could definitely give Alabama a run for their money. Although Alabama on the defensive end last night looked just
phenomenal,
incredible. I mean, it was unreal.
Telling you. I wouldn't mind seeing a Texas school win though. So Texas hadn't won anything in a long time.
I was listening to a take about this the other day. Texas in football, just University of Texas, they get all this praise at the beginning of the year. They get ranked real high in college football. Right. They get ranked real high in basketball now. It's really about time we take a look at them and say, are they a
powerhouse team? Are
they a basketball school or are they a football school? Because basketball, they haven't really done anything. They need a win after hiring Chris Beard, who got, stuck in some allegations.
Yeah.
They wanted him as the long hire. They wanted him for, 20 plus years.
Right.
Or 15, 20 plus years. They wanted him to be their Krzyzewski.
Right.
He didn't end up panning out even after like 1 year. I think he had 1 year there.
Yeah.
And now they got this interim guy. They gotta bring, and I think he did a great job, coaching this team up. But they're gonna hire someone. They're gonna hire someone that they want for the long term. Yeah. And they have to find their identity. And even with Sarkisian on the football side, they just gotta show some worth. And I would love to see them show, like, pulling up with an NCAA title for basketball. Like, it's time. Yeah. Texas needs to be relevant again.
Yeah, for sure.
They stay relevant, obviously, with,
They get a lot of great recruits, too.
Yeah.
I mean, keeping up with their high school recruiting and everything like that, like, they get a lot of good kids that sign with them. So, once they get there, it's like, poof.
Yeah. So, after the first couple rounds, you had FDU, Farley Dickinson, averaging 6'1" in their entire roster, and they beat Purdue, number 1, Purdue, with their 7'4" monster.
Yeah.
Purdue looked soft. It didn't look like they had much of a game plan other than get it into their big guy, get it into their big guy, get it into their big guy. And, great leader, but I mean, they just poked it out almost every single time. And so that was a game that was crazy. Princeton has made it to the Sweet 16. They upset Arizona, number 2 Arizona.
It did.
Kind of destroyed Missouri. I mean, Missouri looked like they didn't even belong out there. So Princeton earning their way, number 15 seed, making their way to the Sweet 16 tournament.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's see what else. Duke's 10-game winning streak comes to an end. They won first round of the tournament. They ended the season with 9 straight wins. So showed some promise, but Duke out again. Is it something that we see all the time? Yeah, I think it's something we're going to get more used to. They just
haven't been the powerhouse school that they used to be.
I even got to be honest. I mean, when I was watching with 3 years ago with Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Jones, Cam Reddish, they had an insane team back then. Still couldn't pull it off. I think I think teams like that, that's what makes the NCAA tournament so great. And I think it wouldn't really work in NCAA football just because, man, when you have teams like Georgia recently, teams like Bama in the past that just can kick anybody's ass.
Right.
Like, it's a little different. But when you got these, a true team like
that just has chemistry
that can go back and forth either way. I mean, Bama, you got the guys, you got the strength, you got the speed. That's how you win games. I mean, you have a great game plan, but it's not quite as essential as when you're talking about basketball. You could have the guys with all the talent in the world just not making shots.
No, for
or
sure.
have a game plan that just doesn't work. And it's a lot easier to come up with a method that works against teams that just have these great players. And so you see teams like Farley Dickinson just like coming out of nowhere. I mean, think how many millions/billions of dollars was lost that were bet on Purdue.
Oh, for sure.
Just gone. I mean, I don't even know what the spread was. I don't even want to know. But the fact that they won by like 4 or 5, insane.
Should have put $5 on it.
I know. You probably
right.
I think they were plus 2,200. So if you bet $100, you would have won plus 2,800. I think is what they were. So if you bet $100, you'd win 2,800.
Dang.
With pretty. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Virginia. I think Virginia's frauds.
Yeah.
To be the first team to be a 16 seed or to lose to a 16 seed in the first round back in 2018 was super embarrassing for them. They came back the next year. They won the title. So kind of like a redemption year. But then you come back, I want to say 20. So you win the title in 19. You come back in 20, and I think you have a COVID scandal. And I think you, don't have enough players to play, so you have to drop out. I think they dropped. No, that's when the tournament was canceled. The tournament was canceled in 2020. 2021, I want to say they had to drop out because they had too many COVID kids. 2022, they lose in the round of 64. 2023, they lose in the round of 64. So I think we're still sitting here hoping that Virginia is that team
that they used to be
back in 2019 when they won the Natty.
Yeah.
And we use that as a reference point, but they're just not they don't deserve the respect that they get because they just every year don't show it in the tournament. Then you got San Diego State. They played really, really well. They'll end up playing Bama in the Sweet 16. So I think they have a good chance of upsetting Alabama. Although Alabama looks very, very, very good. Arkansas played really well. They beat Kansas in the second round. Devontae Davis has been killing it for them first 2 games.
Nice.
So 8 seed Arkansas, making some noise, making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Houston was 10 points. They were in a 10-point deficit against Auburn in the second half. Number 1 Houston, and Auburn came out and shit the bed. They shot 16% in the second half. 16%.
Did they really?
They also came out and shot 53% from the free throw line in the second half.
They went to the line. Be doing at practice.
I think they went to the line 35 free throws, and they only made 17, 18. They were sent to the line so many, and they just could not capitalize. So, I mean,
games are won and lost off of that free throw line, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, they better be running sprints. That's all
no joke.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of upsets though.
Houston's defense was insane.
Really? I haven't gotten to watch them play yet.
Yeah, they look really good. I think they'd be a great team. I'm hoping, we need to get into contact with a couple more local breweries here in the Dallas area. But I think what would be really fun is if we headed up there and kind of did a live, even if we did just a live recording or a segment or something or another where we were up there watching the Sweet 16 games or watching the Elite 8 games, just headed up there, tried some of their beers, tried some of their food, gave them some reviews.
Yeah.
Checked them out.
I like it.
But yeah, man, I think that was a solid
March Madness for sure.
Solid so far. Yeah.
For sure. A lot of upsets, a lot of room to grow for some players for sure.
We have a lot to cover. and I think it's been very eventful. Been one of the better tournaments I think in the last few years.
Yeah.
A lot of news, a lot of upsets.
Big fan of March Madness.
No brackets remain. No perfect brackets.
None.
Yeah, they killed us this year. But man, we try every year. Make that perfect bracket. Got to win that $1 billion.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, who was it? Oh, it was somebody who had told me there are billions or trillions of grains of sand on the world. Okay. This guy was saying that the likelihood that you pick the perfect bracket is about the same chance as if you were to take one of those pieces of sand, right? And ask somebody to pick which grain of sand was yours. Somebody would have a better chance of picking your grain of sand than picking the bracket.
The perfect bracket.
How crazy is that?
I think I saw a TikTok yesterday that said it was like 2 to the 16th power.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I mean, I think there's 16 zeros.
I'm just going to buy a bunch of lotto tickets. You got a better chance there.
I think you got a better chance there, yeah. Which some lottery numbers have been big.
Dude, over the past year especially.
People are just buying lotto tickets like crazy in Texas. Or I guess it's the national lotto that's winning all that big money. I thought about it at one point where it hit that. Did it hit over $1 billion? Yeah.
Yeah,
it was over $1 billion. That dude from Chicago won it, man. I don't know if I'd want to win that much because your name's going to be out there.
Well, you can do it anonymously. You can win it anonymously, but dude, if I win $7 billion, I'm definitely, or I don't know. Somebody's going to find out. One of my loudmouth family members is going to find out.
I don't know if I'd want to win them. I'd be fine. I'd be fine with the 200 million. Give me 200 million.
Yep.
Give me
$1
1 million.
Yeah, we good.
Give me $1 million.
Yeah. Anybody looking to sponsor for $1 million, please contact us.
Absolutely. You'll be a title sponsor of the podcast. We are not responsible for any alcoholics, or bad decisions made while drinking.
Correct. We'll go right here.
Right. Food, beers, great conversation. That's what we're about.
All about
it.
Good pod, man.
Yeah, man. Good pod back. We have a lot. Our studio is almost complete.
Yeah. Still have a few touches.
Working on it. But I mean, to go from recording with one Blue Yeti in your mom's your room, your old room, to go from that to finding, luckily we found this place that wasn't being used, and so we were able to do that and get in here and get a good camera, get some lights, get some acoustic panels,
just make it a little bit more official. Yeah, take pride in it,
have fun with it, and I think it looks super good. Let me find. We do have a sponsor for today's podcast. It is Business Solutions Technology. So whether you need a printer, toner, office supplies, Business Solutions has you covered with corporate level product and family owned customer service. There is not a box they don't check off when supplying you with your business needs. Business Solutions products are typically 50% the cost of big business suppliers.
Yeah, they are.
Looking at you, Staples. Looking at you, Office Depot.
Boo.
You just can't match up to the Business Solutions prices. Business Solution customer service.
They have all the solutions.
That's right. Visit businesssolutionstechnology.net or call 214-663-3268. Again, that's businesssolutionstechnology.net or call 214-663-3268. Use promo code 2BEERS. That is the number 2, BEERS, to receive 20% off your first purchase.
What?
So, 2 beers.
2 beers. Signing off.
All right, buddy. Catch you later.